So this is the insulation I've been doing on the inside of the garage. Got insulated plasterboard here. It links with this insulated plasterboard here, and I've feathered the edge in so that the insulation at the back of this one will marry with the insulation at the back of that one, and there won't be any cold spots. And then I'm going to fill this with expanding foam. I've also got to fill the sides of the doors with expanding foam. And then it should be pretty well insulated. These are internal walls here, so they don't need the insulation on them. But this is an external wall, and of course these are external walls. So here it's had the foam put in it, and I've put the tape on top as well, there and in the middle. And now it's ready for plastering, so that should be very well sealed, both from air and for the insulation from heat. So here's the fresh plaster on the join, and you can also see the dried plaster joining the boards on the right. So here's where those two bits of plasterboard met, and where I cut away this one, so the insulation on the back of this one would marry up with the insulation on the back of that, and then I filled the slight gap with expanding foam. And it certainly seems to have worked, because although it's freezing cold outside at the moment, you can see all the frost out there. The plaster here dries very quickly, so there's clearly no condensation happening on it, and that means that it's not a cold surface, and also that there's no moisture coming in from behind. So that's excellent. There are still two bits of moisture in the room. There's moisture around the frame of this, and that's because of the condensation. It's going to be very difficult to keep that frame warm, but I'm going to put external insulation on the wall outside, and hopefully that will keep that a bit warmer. Then there's also a slight bit of moisture down here where there's a gap between the plasterboard, the insulated plasterboard, and the insulation on the floor. But I'm going to sort that out with expanding foam. And so what we'll get is a nice warm room, which doesn't take much to heat and is a useful space for us. So that's insulating my garage.